Roman Reigns' storyline have been full of last-second changes and twists, so we'll go over everything that's going on there. We'll also see what's going on with Rhea Ripley, WWE Releases, and much more. Let's start things off with everything related to Roman Reigns, because there's a lot of confusion going on here, and understandably so. This mass confusion and all these questions started to come up during the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline came out to the ring for Roman's big announcement about his next step. He revealed that his next step, now that he held 2 titles, was to make sure that the Usos also held 2 titles. So Roman sent them to Raw with the sole mission of bringing him back the Raw Tag Team titles. We joked about the logic here because we understand that Roman has a pass to appear on both shows, since he holds both world titles. But what really gives the Usos the right to appear on Raw? That was just a small plot hole here. Wasn't that big of a deal. But the Usos arrive on Raw and ignite this feud with Randy Orton and Riddle to unify the 2 sets of tag team titles. Randy Orton and Riddle will then come to SmackDown to continue this story with the Usos. Both teams would spend the next month just appearing on both shows to build this hype for the tag team unification match. After the month of build-up, the tag team unification match was set for WrestleMania Backlash. We get a contract signing segment for this big tag team unification match, but by the time the segment came to a close, the match was now cancelled and replaced with a 6-man tag team match instead. This really confused the fans and left them wondering about what happened to the tag team unification match that they've been building up for over a month now. Well, the answer is that it was just scrapped at the last second and replaced with the Bloodline versus Drew McIntyre and RK Bro, with no titles being on the line now. So you have 6 WWE titles represented in this 6-man tag team match, but not a single one of those titles will be up for grabs anymore. A lot of fans were disappointed with this sudden change. We went from almost having a tag team unification match to a 6-man tag match. And with all the uncertainty around Roman Reigns not having an opponent for Backlash, the tag team unification match could have served as the main event for WrestleMania Backlash. When was the last time the tag team division main evented a pay-per-view, especially with a great feud like the Usos versus RK Bro? It's been a long time. Other fans came up with a pretty good suggestion. They said that even with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre joining this match, why not keep the winner-takes-all stipulation for the match? The winning trio not only takes the unified tag team titles, but they also win the unified WWE World titles. Now you're talking. That's at least a bit more interesting compared to a non-title 6-man tag match main eventing a premium event. But the reason why that wasn't done is because they probably just had second thoughts about unifying the tag titles. So this 6-man tag match was basically their only way to write themselves out of that corner. But again, speaking character-wise, it is weird to hear Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman say that this 6-man tag match is better than the previously scheduled tag team unification match. It doesn't really make that much sense to hear these characters say to Adam Pearce that an ordinary 6-man tag match is a bigger match than the opportunity to unify the tag team titles. But that's what they're going with. So it was a bit unfortunate that the tag team unification match was cancelled, especially when so many weeks were spent building up that match. But hopefully the 6-man tag match can still carry the show. As far as Roman's challengers, Nakamura's immediate feud with Roman was also cancelled. But a lot of the latest reports claim that WWE will revisit Nakamura as an opponent for Roman down the line again if they ever need to. So Nakamura will still be hanging around the main event scene, and they will use him again against Roman down the line depending on how things play out. Other reports claim that WWE could also be spacing out Roman's title defenses and big opponents, so that probably has something to do with why he's not defending the titles at Backlash. So there's no title defenses at all for any of the Bloodline members at WrestleMania Backlash. But who knows, maybe something important comes out of this 6-man tag match after all. That's what we'll all have to wait on. WWE fans have been accustomed to massive WWE releases from time to time over the last few years, and it's always a devastating time to see all these superstars lose their jobs. It's not a fun thing to see at all. But unfortunately, it's part of the business for WWE. The main roster releases have been completely quiet since November 2021, which saw a lot of unexpected releases such as Hit Row and others. But we've gone several months now without really hearing much about main roster cuts. However, a massive set of NXT releases took place last week, including some surprising names like Dakota Kai. So with everyone seeing what just happened on NXT, it has everyone asking about the status of the main roster. Are there any releases coming up for the main roster? Reports claim that the main roster releases could be on the way and follow up these NXT releases soon. But reports claim that information regarding the main roster releases has been quiet and nothing is really getting out early. So when and if this next set of main roster releases takes place, it will be a complete shock to just about everyone. So that's something else to keep in the back of your head that might be happening soon. Some big news for WWE's Rhea Ripley and AEW's Buddy Matthews. They recently publicly confirmed their relationship with each other. So a lot of fans congratulated them and were happy to see another WWE and AEW couple out there. As far as the latest with everything related to Rhea Ripley and WWE, things are looking great for her right now. She finally took that long-awaited heel turn and is showing a new vicious side to herself. She talked about how she's tired of her last few tag team partners bringing her down to their level, and how she's ready to just take off on her own now. Before Rhea Ripley can go off and make some noise in the singles division, she'll still have to deal with Liv Morgan, who's still very much after her. So maybe we'll see a little series of matches between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, which should definitely see Rhea come out on top. Besides the rumors and rumblings about joining Judgment Day, another clear direction for Rhea Ripley is obviously facing Bianca Belair down the line in the near future. A big babyface champion like Bianca Belair is going to need a big heel opponent to feud with, and that's where Rhea Ripley comes into play. And depending on when and where that match takes place, you can even argue that Rhea Ripley has a very good shot at possibly knocking Bianca Belair off as champion. So, sky's the limit for Rhea Ripley. She's back in the singles division with a whole new heel attitude and persona. So we'll have to see if that will eventually get her into the title picture, as everyone expects to see. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Do you like the fact that the Tag Team Unification match was cancelled? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.